Hello and welcome to the stream, everybody. We're gonna continue Dragon Quest and maybe something else after that. It's pretty early, it's almost 7 p.m. EST, so not as late as last night when I started that stream. Welcome back to Dragon Quest, everybody. Hope we're all having a good day, hope we're getting through Mondays, am I right? Ugh. So in yesterday's stream, we got quite a bit of level grinding done. We're at level 10, and we didn't finish the dungeon because I kept getting my ass whooped by Wraith Knights. But we're gonna try to do that and maybe fight the green dragon and save the princess in this stream. And if all goes according to plan, this will be a three-parter because hopefully I'll be able to beat the Dragon Lord within the next stream. What's happening, Hro, Doodle? Hope you guys are having a good day. When is the Dragon Quest 1+2 HD 2D remake supposed to come out? I know it's soon, but I don't know when exactly. I still think this is the definitive way to play Dragon Quest 1. Either this or the Game Boy Color version. Of course, HD 2D looks gorgeous, and I'm sure it's going to be a good game. Will it be worth the price of admission? I'm not so sure, because Dragon Quest 1 and 2 are both very short, very simple games, and even though I love Dragon Quest 1, this is one of my favorite RPGs, I don't know if it's going to be worth the $70 price of admission. I should buy some more magic keys. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I should have done that from the jump. I'm gonna buy more magic keys in case I need them in that dungeon. Is Dragon Quest 1 a short game? Yeah, for me, I've beaten this game a ton of times. I think my quickest playthrough of this game was like 10 hours. It was 2 sittings, so it didn't take me very long at all. If you're playing this for the first time and it's blind and you're playing the NES or the Famicom version, it's longer because there's way more level grinding that you have to do. The Super Famicom remake here cuts down on the grinding a little bit, I mean quite a bit, but it's still not, there's still level grinding, there's still the random encounters and whatnot in the overworld, but Dragon Quest 1 is not a very long game, which is why I replay it every summer, because you can beat it in a couple of sittings. And the last time I streamed this game, it took me, I want to say 3 streams? I think it took me 3 streams. And this is the second stream, so we're over a third of the way through the game. Saw me spend 3 minutes grinding straight yesterday, then you had to do it again because RetroArch crashed. First of all, it wasn't 3 minutes, it was like 15 minutes, but yeah. RetroArch crashed for no reason, and I had to switch over to Mason. I went to a gaming convention in Raleigh, North Carolina a couple years ago, and they had a Super Nintendo repro cart of this game here, and I really wanted to buy it, but I didn't because it was like $50, which is way too much for a repro. If you're getting a reproduction cart and you spend more than like $25 on it, you're getting ripped off. I need more gold so I can buy more keys. I want to go into this dungeon with 6 magic keys, even though I'm not going to need them. How was the Dragon Quest 3 remake, by the way? I haven't played it myself. Somebody gifted it to me. I don't remember if it was Animembi or Azura or Co. It won't run on my potato PC, but I've heard it's solid and it's very faithful to the original Dragon Quest 3. More specifically, the Super Famicom version of Dragon Quest 3, for better or worse. My one problem with the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake is they got rid of Pachisi, which was a fun minigame that was strewn throughout the world of Dragon Quest 3, and you could get rare items and you would like fight monsters and stuff. Pachisi was a lot of fun, and for some reason they removed that minigame side game from the remake, and I don't quite know why. Hey Azura, welcome to the stream. Aren't repo carts kind of illegal? Yeah, that doesn't stop people from selling them though. My stance on repro carts are it's complicated because on one hand, most of the time a repro cart is somebody just selling someone else's work, which is shitty. But I think maybe this makes me a shitty person, but I think they're cool because I like having a physical copy of something, especially if they go the whole 9 yards and they make they print out an instruction booklet and it comes in a custom jewel case. The vendor that I saw at this convention had like jewel cases for Super Nintendo games, which, if you remember, Super Nintendo games didn't have jewel cases. They were sold in cardboard boxes. And it was really cool. But yeah, repro carts are complicated because on one hand, somebody is taking the time and effort to to print the physical game and to put it on a board and then to put it in a plastic game shell. But it is selling a ROM hacker's work, usually 99% of the time without their permission, which is kind of shitty. But I think repro carts are cool. Was the minigame in the original release or was it in a later release? Because I noticed whenever Square does remakes or remasters of games, they have already gotten one a long time ago. They never have any of that stuff. It was in the NES version and the Super Famicom version, and they took it, and the Game Boy Color version, and they took it out of the HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest III. But other than that, I mean, it seems to be a very, very faithful remaster. Again, for better or worse, they didn't really... There's still random encounters, there's still level grinding, there's still the dungeon crawling. They didn't change a ton from Dragon Quest III, which I don't mind. But again, for a fully priced game, like $60, $70, I kind of expect them to go the whole 9 yards and add a bunch of new stuff or to change stuff. But it depends on your outlook going into it. But I would stream it if my potato PC could run it. Unfortunately, it can't. So if I ever stream Dragon Quest III, which I might, because I love Dragon Quest III, I love that game, it'll probably be the Super Famicom version. Have no idea why they do that. If I were to hazard a guess, and it's a bit of a stretch, maybe something to do with gambling, but it's not really gambling. You have to use a ticket. There's an item called the Pachisi ticket, and it's super rare in Dragon Quest III. You get it in like treasure chests and dungeons and stuff. You don't even have to pony up your own money to play Pachisi. It's super weird. I have no idea why they removed it, unless they plan on selling it as DLC, which would be really stupid because nobody's gonna buy that. They should have just kept it in the game. I have no clue why they would remove it. But yeah, I was kind of yapping a lot about Dragon Quest during yesterday's stream and how I love these games, and I've beaten pretty much every game in this series. I haven't played 2, I haven't played 10, the MMO, and I haven't beaten Dragon Quest VII for the PS1 because it bored me to death, and also that game is like 400 hours long. It's ridiculous. But DQ1, DQ3, 5, 8 are the best, in my opinion. I've heard 2 is good, but it's still early Dragon Quest, so it's still super rough around the edges. This game has the novelty of being the first Dragon Quest game and also being really short. There's this sense of brevity with Dragon Quest 1. 2 is a fair bit longer, which is part of the reason why I haven't played it. Dragon Quest 4 is great, not as good as 5. 5 is a masterpiece. 6 is okay. 6 is also kind of boring. 7 is probably my least favorite. Okay. 9 is good, but it's better if you have friends to play with. Also, how's the audio, by the way? Because yesterday, Flamingo in chat told me that it was too quiet, so I have it turned up. I have it turned up a little bit higher during the stream. But yeah, hopefully we will be able to do this dungeon, finish it, defeat the green dragon, and maybe even go down to Cantillon and fight the golem. Game is audible. Do I need to turn it up or down? Or is it good? Is it at a good level? Because it looks good in the mix board, but you can't trust the OBS mix board. Also, I might check out that Super Metroid ROM hack that you linked me to a moment ago, Doodle, because it looked cool. I might do that maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but it looked really cool. It's weird seeing Super Metroid look like a Game Boy Advance game. Yeah, it looks awesome. Metroid Fusion is great. I haven't played it in a long time, though. I haven't played it since I want to say, what, the 3DS Ambassador program? Was that Fusion or Zero? I think it was Fusion. I played Zero Mission on the 3DS, but through Virtual Console injection. You know, totally legal, not homebrew. It was Fusion, yeah. It's been a long time since I've played Metroid Fusion. The thing about Fusion is, in my mind, it plays like Zero Mission, which is my favorite Metroid game solely because of the movement and how zippy Samus feels in that game. But Fusion doesn't play like Zero Mission. Fusion is a bit slower. It feels more like Super Metroid. It's still good, but that's a ROM hack that, if that doesn't exist, somebody should make that. A ROM hack of Fusion that makes it control like Zero Mission, gives it like the speed and the physics of Zero Mission. Okay, that bottom floor is where scary enemies are, so I'm going to try to not spend as little time on the third floor as possible. Metal Scorpion! Hajimemashite. Stupid Japanese scorpion. I was talking about this during the Mario 3 stream the other night. I think it's really funny that Nintendo thinks their consumers are stupid. Now, granted, I'm sure a lot of Nintendo fans are. I'm pretty stupid myself, to be fair, to be a little self-aware for a moment. But it was so funny when they insisted that they couldn't do 3DS Virtual Console for the like Game Boy Advance emulation, right? Because the 3DS couldn't run it. But they already did with the Ambassador program. Like, what's the deal, bro? It was like, oh, the 3DS can't run Game Boy Advance games. We can't do it. It just can't do it. But like, you already did. What was the Ambassador program then? I don't get that either. Yeah, I wonder if that was a mistranslation or something. Because that was just such a weird claim that the 3DS couldn't run Game Boy Advance games when they already made that possible. And it wasn't even new 3DS either. That was on the stock launch model 3DS. Which was not a great piece of hardware to begin with. I remember the battery being particularly bad on the launch 3DS. Which sucks because I think the 3DS is one of the coolest looking handhelds ever made. I love the glossy finish. I love the metallic, like, it looked so futuristic. Played Sacred Stones on it. Yeah, that was a good deal. You got, what, like 15 NES games and 10 Game Boy Advance games or something? 3DS got so much sauce. It really does. The new 3DS with the faceplates as well, that was cool, that was neat. I should have came into this dungeon with some herb. I gotta find the exit. It's up there, right? Maybe I should just swallow my pride and consult a map for this dungeon, because I think I remember the Dragon Lord's castle, the final castle in the game, better than this one. It was weird with the Ambassador program, they added WarioWare, which is a great game. They added WarioWare to it, but not Wario Land 4, if memory serves me correct. See, it's down there. But I don't want to be on this floor because the enemies down here are really tough. And I don't remember how to get to the end. There's no boss or anything at the end of the dungeon. You just gotta get the harp. I think that's what you get here, the silver harp. Pretty sure. I mean, this is good EXP though, so hopefully by the time we're done with this place, we'll be able to go and just fight the green dragon. It was so cool how they added Dragon Quest representation in the Smash Brothers. With Solo and the Luminary and Erdrick and 8. I just wish they added Madison from Dragon Quest V. He was so cool. He was my favorite protagonist. Him and Erdrick are like my favorite designs. Also Terry from Dragon Quest VI, who got his own spin-off series, the very first Dragon Quest Monsters game, which starred a young Terry. Where's Torneko? Torneko is also great. Torneko should have been a whole ass character in Smash Brothers. He would have been awesome. I love Torneko so much. He's just this jolly, fat guy that goes dungeon crawling. And he gets money. He's getting that money. Yeah, we're definitely due for a Torneko PS1 Torneko The Last Hope restream. It's been a long time coming. We need to restream that game. I'm finna consult a map just because I'm so sick of this dungeon. We gotta get out of here. It's probably a really, really easy route if you remember how to get to the end of this gosh darn dungeon. But unfortunately, I don't. Yeah, that's a dead end. The staircase going up is where we came from. So it's gotta be the one in the top left-hand corner, right? That'd be sick. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Torneko. That's another game that I play like around Thanksgiving and Christmas time. I don't know why, but that's like a winter game for me. Something about that game is very warm and seasonal. It's very snowy, very wintry. Like I want to play it by the glow of a CRT, by the fire. You know what I'm saying? And this was a dead end, right? Yeah. Yep, we're dead. I'm gonna look up a map. That's okay though, because we went into that dungeon with like no gold. So I didn't even lose that much. I'm gonna look up a map. No matter how many times I play this game, Garenham and the Dragon Lord's Dungeon, which are like the two main dungeons in this game, are the ones that I forget. Okay, let me consult a map real quick. First floor. Wait a minute. Am I dumb? Am I blind? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this map because I don't see where the G is. That statement will make sense here in a second. Okay, so on the left, we have the first floor. In the middle, that's the second floor, and then the third floor. We need to take the staircase that is labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Hey, G, could you make me a sandwich? No! Wait a minute. Am I missing something? Okay. G leads to floor 4. So we start on that staircase in the middle of B1. Take the staircase labeled A to get to the second floor. Take the staircase labeled E, and then G. And okay, so yeah, I was going every way except for the right way. I took the staircase labeled F, I took the staircase labeled D, I took the staircase labeled B, but I didn't take the staircase labeled E. So we went every which way except for the way we needed to go. You would think with how many times I've beaten this game, I would have these dungeons committed to memory, but this is not Zelda. In Legend of Zelda, aside from Spectacle Rock, the like Death Mountain, whatever it's called, the very final dungeon where you get the silver arrows and the red ring, in Legend of Zelda, I have all of the dungeons committed to memory. But Garanham and the Dragon Lord's Lair in this game, like it doesn't matter how many times I play this damn game, I always forget. I'm exploring. I mean, it is EXP, and we need more EXP. We gotta at least, I want to be level 13 before I fight the green dragon. Have some hot cocoa and playing games on the CRT by the fireplace. Me, if I were a kid in the 80s on my Atari 2600, and also I lived in like North Dakota or Montana or Washington State, somewhere up in the Northwest. Hey Maple, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Thank you for your help during Kid Icarus the other day, by the way. I just genuinely appreciate it. Yeah, I love Dragon Quest 1. This is a yearly playthrough for me. Every summer, I play through specifically the Super Famicom remake here. One of these days, I'll stream the original NES version, which I've only beaten once, but the Super Famicom version is literally just it's the NES game, but better. It doesn't make it easier like Final Fantasy Dawn of Souls on the Game Boy Advance, where it makes Final Fantasy 1 like pathetic easy, and that's the version of Final Fantasy I grew up with, so I love Dawn of Souls, but it makes the game way too easy. This game, it's not like that. It cuts down on the grinding a fair bit, but it's just better than the NES version. How much gold do I have after dying? I still have 700 gold. Used to play through Earthbound every summer with your brother. Those were the days. That rules. I'm the same way. I play through Earthbound every summer as well. This game and Earthbound I played around the same time when I got into emulation and Z-SNES. I had played Dragon Quest games before this one, but I wanted to play this one because it was the first. So I was like, I gotta play DQ1. And then I found out about this Japanese exclusive Super Famicom remake, and there was an English translation. So I learned how to patch ROMs as well when I was like 8 or 9 on Z-SNES. But I beat Earthbound, and around the same time is when I played this game for the first time. The SNES had the hardest emulator buff. Literally bought a Super Famicom because you fuck with the SNES so hard. I think the Super Famicom also just looks better than the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo is maybe the greatest video game system ever made. I would say it's certainly up there, if not the greatest video game system ever made. But the North American design of the Super Nintendo looks like... I think it was the Angry Video Game Nerd who said this. It looks like a baby toy. It's like gray with lavender highlights. Super Famicom is rounded. It's got a cool color scheme. It looks cute, but it also looks like a badass video game console. If I were a kid in the 90s, I would have been a Genesis kid purely superficially because the Genesis looked like a hot rod in comparison to the Super Nintendo, which looks like a Prius. Yeah, the Super Famicom, I agree, Doodle. It's a very pleasant looking console. I don't know what they were doing with the North American Super Nintendo design, but it's not my favorite looking console aesthetically. Genesis had way better action games, let's be real. Yeah, I would say Super Nintendo and Genesis are way closer than people make them out to be. People say the SNES clears the Genesis. It's certainly, I would say, band for band, bar for bar, the SNES is the better console, but I disagree so hard with the people that say Genesis only had Sonic. No. It had Space Harrier, it had Outrun, it had Shining Force, it had Phantasy Star, it had Rise Star, Gunstar Heroes, a lot of stars. It had Contra Hardcore, Rocket Knight Adventures, Castlevania Bloodlines. It had Shinobi, it had Revenge of Shinobi, bro. Genesis had an amazing library, but it was definitely lacking in certain genres, specifically RPGs. Like, Super Nintendo clears the Genesis. I love Shining Force and Phantasy Star, but come on, Super Nintendo's got Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, Live Alive, Lufia 2. Like, it ain't even a contest. But considering the Genesis is a video game console from 1988 and the Super Nintendo had a 3-year leap over the Genesis hardware, it's pretty crazy that the Genesis held its own for so long. SNES clears the Genesis if you have no imagination or love. No, I think the Super Nintendo, band for band, at the end of the day, is the better console. But Genesis has some damn good games on it. No doubt. There we go. This took me like an hour of yesterday's stream. And if I had just looked up a map instead of being stubborn, we probably would have one-take jaked this dungeon. But my ass couldn't remember. Genesis had it bad because Japan didn't fuck with it, so the RPGs went to the PC Engine and the Super Famicom. Yeah, actually, I never thought about that, but you're right. The Mega Drive was not a big hit in Japan or Europe. I could be wrong about Europe. I think it might have been big in Britain, like the UK, but other parts of Europe, apparently the Mega Drive wasn't that successful. What's weird though is that Japan loved the Sega Saturn, probably because it had a home port of Virtua Fighter 2 on it. But there's this conception that Sega wasn't popular in Japan. That's only partially true. The Sega Genesis was not popular in Japan. However, Sega was huge in the arcades. Sega AM2 held it down in the arcade scene. Their home consoles weren't successful until the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn did great in Japan. Europe loved Sega in places like Portugal and France because there were exclusive translations for them. Interesting. I want to say the Mega Drive was decently popular in the UK. Certainly more popular than Nintendo. Every single English person that I know personally or that I've seen like on the internet who makes video game reviews and retrospectives, they're all like, "Oh, blimey, the Nintendo wasn't shit here in the UK. We had the ZX Spectrum and the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. Nobody gave a toss about Nintendo here in the UK." Which is, it's fine. That's cool. I've always thought that was cool about Great Britain, how there was, like, home computers at the time were so popular. Hello, you. I'm Guru Larry. Guru Larry's OG. I remember watching his old games, that Yanks Can't Wank series on Screw Attack back in the... That's how old this is. Guru Larry is, you know, he's fun to poke fun at, but he's an OG. I still watch his videos. He makes good stuff. Prehistoric. Yeah, I was 8 years old on Screw Attack, and I was a G1. I made an account and everything. Top 10 Amiga babes. Guru Larry's the reason I played Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap for the first time. When I was getting into emulation, again, or like 4th, 5th grade, around that time, I saw his video on Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, and I was like, this game looks badass. And I emulated it on a Sega Master System emulator, and you know what? It was badass, and it's still one of my favorite games ever made. Lizard Cube, especially that remake, they didn't make the original game. The original Wonder Boy was made by West One, but they did the remake, and the remake is amazing. And that new Shinobi is fire. That demo, if you haven't played it, it's free. Dude, Shinobi is my game of the year already, and I'm saying that based purely off the demo. It comes out later this month, and it's gonna be a day one stream for me. Lizard Cube knocks it out of the park with everything that they do. Okay, so now that we have the Silver Harp, we can get the Rain Staff, I'm pretty sure. Need them to make a Strider game? That would be great. There was that Strider reboot a couple years ago that was actually really good. I have it. I should stream that too. I don't remember who made it though. Was the Strider reboot good? Yeah, the one I'm thinking of is the one from like 2018, 2019. It's from a decade ago? It's not that old. Is it really from 2014? I thought that shit was like 2019. Holy shit, it's from 2014. Wow, the Strider reboot is 11 years old. It was made by Double Helix Games as well. You know what else Double Helix Games made? Killer Instinct 2013. Which is, the GOAT. Turns to Dust. Yeah, I thought that, I could have sworn it was from like 2019. It predates Undertale. You know what's weird to me? Undertale feels older than 2015. Undertale came out when I was, I want to say, a junior in high school, and my high school years, this is me being Unk. Okay, I'm Unk mode. This is Uncle Wyatt's talking. My high school years were so long ago that it felt like that wasn't even me. That was a different person in a different universe. That felt so long ago that that didn't even happen to me. That's not real. That never happened. All the Guru Larry bits are not out of malice, they are out of respect. No, for real, I quite enjoy Guru Larry and his videos. He's an OG, and those videos put me on. They were the hookup to some lesser known, more obscure 8 and 16-bit games that to this day are still some of my favorites. Undertale felt new until it reached the 7-year mark, then it aged rapidly. I don't know why. It's weird. The first Five Nights at Freddy's feels newer than Undertale, but it's a year older than Undertale. I don't know if that's just my perception of it or if anyone else feels that way, but the first Five Nights at Freddy's, for some reason, Undertale feels way older than FNAF 1. I would play 1 minute of the Commodore 64, trust. Maple, my friend. 1 minute on the Commodore 64, your ass would still be loading. Your ass would still be loading into whatever game you were trying to boot up. FNAF and Undertale feel like they came out at the same time to me. Yeah, maybe it's just my perception of it. They did come out around the same time. I want to say FNAF 1 was like the summer of 2014, and then Undertale was like a year later. 11 minutes, give them time, yeah. Was the loading that bad on other home computers like the ZX Spectrum or the Commodore Amiga? Sorry. The ZX Spectrum. Where's the rain staff? It's over here. If it was on a cassette. You know what? That actually makes sense that the loading was so bad, because those goobers were putting video games on a cassette tape. That's gotta be the worst medium for... That's like if they put a video game on Laserdisc or VHS. You put that shit in your VCR, bro. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm playing Friendzone Marvin on my VCR. This obscure platformer from the 90s. Wow! You obtained the silver harp! Now open the treasure box! Playing Mario on a vinyl. Alright, we got the Staff of Rain. We have almost all the MacGuffins we need to beat this game. I need to become stronger, though. The final boss, the Dragon Lord, if you have Erdrick's armor and sword, it's a cakewalk. Even if you're not level 30, which I believe is the level cap in this game. I think last time I played this game, I fought him, I was like level 20. Which would have been way under leveled, but if you have Erdrick's armor, then you're good. And his sword, his sword is badass. I'm glad you guys are here because not only do I love this game and I love sharing Dragon Quest 1. This isn't the most thrilling game. I've explained my love of old, simple JRPGs and how I just enter a zen-like state when I'm level grinding or I'm just playing them, especially with this game with the music and how good it is and just how splendid it is. Even though you will get sick of hearing that opening sting for the battle music by the end of the game. But it's not the most thrilling gameplay. RPGs are for listening to the entirety of Dope Smoker too. See, you get it. You understand. I could try to fight the dragon, but I want to find a bank to deposit my gold so I don't lose my money. You know, if I went and bought the magic armor, I could probably beat the dragon at level 12. I'm a bit under level for it, but I think I might have enough money to get the magic armor. Which is a ripoff because you can get Erdrick's armor soon, but I'm impatient and I don't feel like grinding right now. What is chat's favorite RPG? I did not mean to cast that spell. I meant to cast Radiant. Whoops. I might start Mystic Quest after the stream. Not like immediately after, but like a week or something from now. Because I'm one of the twisted psychopaths that actually really likes Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. For a lot of the same reasons I like this game. It's just simple and straightforward. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mystic Quest also has a banging soundtrack. Mystic Quest has one of the most underrated soundtracks on the Super Nintendo. I've never seen anyone play Mystic Quest, nor have you played it itself. I'm not gonna go to bat for Mystic Quest and say it's some secretly underrated masterpiece and it's a hidden gem. It's not a great game. It's a very insultingly basic RPG for Westerners, for the stupid Americans back then. But it's not bad. It's a very enjoyable and goofy and funny game. And I think it's fun, but, you know, I also think that this game is fun and some people would question me for that. Was replaying Mother 3 and don't know what to think of it anymore. It's your favorite game, but it's been your favorite game since you were 8. Mother 3 is the GOAT. You will never see me being on some contrarian shit with Mother 3. And I think it's even more impressive because it had such a complicated development and they salvaged it for the GBA. I think Mother 3 isn't flawless. I've got my qualms with it. I think the pacing in the middle is really, really bad and rushed. And if it were released for the 64DD, it would have been a fully fledged, uncompromised RPG, and I'm sure the story would have been better paced and way longer, which I think Mother 3 needed to be longer. I can appreciate a short RPG. That's why I'm playing this. Don't get it twisted. But Mother 3, right when you think it gets cooking, it's over. Still an amazing game, still like a 10 out of 10 game, and they salvaged it from the scraps of Earthbound 64. But What I'm saying is, it has pacing issues. The first RPG of all time that needed to be longer. It is the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Phantom Blood of JRPGs. And much like Mother 3, I love Phantom Blood. It's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of JoJo's. But it needed to be longer. Mystic Quest was something you played to study RPG design one time. Mystic Quest, again, I'm not going to say it's some masterpiece and it's misunderstood. Like, it is a basic RPG for stupid Americans. And I say this as a stupid American, but it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's silly, the plot doesn't take itself seriously, the soundtrack kicks ass. Mother 3 pacing is all over the place. For me, Mother 3 has an amazing start and an amazing ending, but everything in the middle is so poorly paced, and it's either flying by you way too damn fast, or it's going at like a snail's pace. Layoff Chapter 5. That shit was fire. Is that that's the salsa chapter, right? Or is that chapter 4? Or is that, no, it's not. What? I haven't played Mother 3 in so long. That's Thunder Tower? Wow, that's way later. Why did I think that was chapter 3 is salsa? Okay, yeah, because that's before the time skip, right? With salsa? That's before Tazmilia's become brainwashed with TVs and trains. I like how Mother 3 is like the downfall of consumerism and capitalism or whatever, and the TVs are brainwashing the people of Tazmily Village, and they're also like, yo, fuck trains. There's a train in our village. I just think that is really funny. There's no bank in Remoldar. I'm just now noticing that. So if I die, that's gonna be an issue. There's a bank in Tantegel, though. I could just go back there. There's not much else for me on this continent at the moment, though, aside from going to the Dragon Lord, which I cannot do for multiple reasons. So I've got a couple of options here. I could try to go to the southwestern continent and fight the golem, or grind on metal slimes, which would... Oh, speaking of golem, this is Gold Man. This guy might kill me. This guy's tough. Let's see how much damage he does. He's gonna give me a shit ton of cash, though, if I kill him. Anyway, metal slimes give you a ton of EXP, so if I kill them, we won't have to do as much grinding. I didn't realize how blatant the political ideas were in Mother 3. Yeah, but it's done well. It's done... They cooked. They cooked with Mother 3. I've got my problems with it. You know, Mother 3 is kind of in inverse of Earthbound, where most of my problems with Earthbound are mechanical, like the game design, whereas most of my problems with Mother 3 are the story and pacing. Mother 3, I have no issues with the game design. In fact, I think the combat and the enemy design in Mother 3 is, like, airtight in that game. It is so solid. Whereas Earthbound, mechanically, like, it's still a good game, but there's a lot more glitches, and there are a lot more, you know, the inventory management in Earthbound is a pain in the ass as well. No other game has ever used the rhythm battle system, and you're pissed. Yeah, I'm surprised there's not like an indie RPG that directly lifts the rhythm-based combat from Mother 3. Please don't kill me, Gold Man. Probably hard to program. Yeah, you would also have to quantize all of the songs for to work with the rhythm-based combat too. Are you gonna give me the thing, or do I have to come back later? Okay, I need the token of Erdrick to get that, so we'll put a pin in that. Do I have a Wing of Wyvern? I do not. So we're gonna have to, I don't know, go back to Remoldar and see if they have a Wing of Wyvern, or just walk all the way back. Mother 3's combo system helps spice up the early chapters where you don't have a lot of options besides normal attacking. Yeah, Mother 3, mechanically, I have no issues with it. The combat, the spells, like the PK moves that you get, Duster's abilities, all of that, I think that's all done excellently. My problem with Mother 3 boils down to the pacing and some of the story beats. It's a AAA mechanic because it requires absolute synchrony between the composers and the programmers. Yeah, Shogo Sakai was standing on business when he did Mother 3, though. I think I do prefer the hip-hop pop, like weird pastiche of American pop culture that Hip Tanaka and Keiichi Suzuki brought to the table. I'm gonna have to close my window because there are birds chirping, but there's a nice cool breeze. I had to close my window. Yeah, Keiichi Suzuki and Hip Tanaka, they hit you with heaters with Mother 1 and Mother 2, but Shogo Sakai's soundtrack for Mother 3 has more of an emotional resonance to it. What story beats specifically, if you want to get into it? Well, this should go without saying, but spoilers for Mother 3 to anyone watching right now or watching the VOD when I upload this. 3, 2, 1. Just like, I don't know, close your ear holes for the next 5 minutes. The stuff with the dragon, how they kept hinting at the balance with the dragons and whatnot. And the stuff with the ship, like after the apocalypse or whatever, and they all got on the boat, and that's how the Nowhere Islands lived peacefully because they all that stuff, instead of being info dumped onto the player at the very end of the game, I really wish that they elaborated on it throughout the whole game, because that stuff is fascinating to me. Instead, you get hit with like a 20-minute monologue from Letter at the very end of the game, which is a crazy-ass moment where you're like, oh, okay, so basically, this is like that one science fiction short story. I don't remember the name of it. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, that short story about the one kid that's entrusted with like all of the memories of the previous world, it's pretty much that. But I wish that was elaborated upon throughout the duration of Mother 3 instead of being dropped on you at the very end of the game. It is a crazy twist. Like, I can appreciate that, but I wish we got more of that. Didn't even consider someone didn't like that cinematic info dump, but that makes sense to you. I don't dislike it. I think it's a great moment. It is really long. Like, I think it genuinely goes on for like 20 minutes or something, but I don't dislike it. I think it's a great twist. I'm just saying, I think it would have been better if other characters talked more about it throughout the course of the game instead of it all being dropped at you on you at the very end. I think it's called the White Ship or something. Yeah. Hideo Kojima must have loved that part. I'm still planning on doing Snatcher soon as well on the stream. I don't know when, probably this year at some point, but I played a little bit of Snatcher not too long ago, and I was like, I had to stop like 25-30 minutes into it because I was like, I want to stream this. I'm familiar with Policenauts and Snatcher. I'm very familiar with the soundtracks to both games, but I've never played them. I do know that Snatcher is pretty much just Blade Runner, but anime, and Policenauts is Lethal Weapon, but without Danny Glover or Mel Gibson. And it's also anime. But no, I love Mother 3. And someday I will stream it. And I do think it's incredible that they salvaged that game from the rubble of the 64DD. Has there ever been a video game console that has been more heartbreaking than the 64DD? Think of all of the potential. I'm being sincere, I'm not being facetious. Like, the 64DD could have been badass. They gave up on it. It released, in spite of what some people think. The 64DD did come out, and there was like 10 games for it. The Wonder Swan, maybe? The Wonder Swan, if you believe in this conspiracy theory, is what got Gunpei Yokoi killed. Some people, I'm not saying that I believe in this. I think it's super interesting. I'm not necessarily saying that I believe that this happened, but there's a conspiracy theory that when Gunpei Yokoi left to go work at Bandai and he made the Wonder Swan. Now, Gunpei Yokoi was one of Nintendo's OG engineers. Not just, oh, he made some good games. No, dude was like a genius. And he had that hardware design on deck. Like, dude was an innovator. He made the Game Boy and the Game & Watch, right? And he left Nintendo to go work at Bandai. Some people believe that Gunpei Yokoi was assassinated by the Yakuza because Nintendo historically has crazy connections to the Yakuza. I'm not saying I believe that's conspiracy theory per se, but I do think it's very fascinating. And the circumstances of Gunpei Yokoi's death are very, very suspect. Hey Kubo, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're not having a case of the Mondays. Ha! Y'all ever seen Office Space? Anyway. Why did I come here again? Oh yeah, the bank. Literally what I was doing. Literally what I was in the process of doing. Okay, let's save. First and foremost, let's save. I'm at a crossroads here. We could try to go to Cantillon and get Erdrick's armor. Or we can go fight the Green Dragon. The thing is, I'm like 99% certain that if I try to fight the dude that's guarding Erdrick's armor, he's going to one-shot my ass. So we're gonna go buy the magic armor and fight the Green Dragon instead. Running errands earlier this morning, got a headache afterwards, and you've been sleepy. Well, I hope you get to feeling a little bit better. Do you take a little power nap? You drink some water? Coffee? Coffee helps when I have headaches. One of your favorite movies? Oh, Office Space is a classic. Nintendo and Bandai Namco are tight right now. Yeah. I mean, this was back when Hiroshi Yamauchi was running the company. And that dude had Yakuza ties. Hiroshi Yamauchi. You can look into it yourself. I'm not saying I believe this conspiracy theory, but I do think it's very interesting. You did 2 of those things. Well, I hope your headache subsides. I got 6,000 gold. I almost have enough for the magic armor. Dude literally played one video game, a shogi game. Yeah, he was not a gamer. He was an old Japanese dude who was a businessman. He was not a gamer. This was not an Iwata situation where Iwata was a dork. He was a nerd who loved video games. Hiroshi Yamauchi was gangster. Again, look into it yourself if you're interested, but if memory serves me correct, Gunpei Yokoi got in like a fender bender or a minor car accident to some effect like that. And if I'm remembering this correctly, the report of his death, he got out of his car to inspect the damage on his car, and then it was hit by another car. That's pretty suspect. That's pretty crazy. Now, that could be fictitious. That could just be some, like, not true shit at all. I don't remember my sources on that because this was a long time ago. I read it on some dude's blog spot. So, you know, not the most credible source, but also could be true. I don't know. Anyway, the 64DD is cool and I want one. I'm never gonna play the shogi game released for 64DD. I'm never gonna play the golf game released for 64DD, but I want one. I just think there's something funny about Sony and Sega. They release their consoles and they use optical CD-based media. The PlayStation 1 and the Sega Saturn, they use CDs. And everyone's telling Nintendo, don't use cartridges, use CDs. Discs. Use discs. That's what they're all telling Nintendo, hey, you gotta make the 64, you gotta use discs. And the 64DD didn't even use CDs. It used magnetic discs. I think that's really funny. The 64DD is the most paperweight piece of Nintendo history, but it looked cool. Yeah, it's something that you plug into your 64 and you never use, but it looks cool. Nintendo's stubborn ass be like, but piracy. Well, I mean, the Sega Dreamcast kind of, one of the reasons it died was because it was super easy to pirate games for it. Although, the GameCube mini discs were also to curb piracy, but Dolphin became a very competent emulator very, very quickly. So it kind of didn't matter that much in the end. Is there anyone else that prefers the 64 to the GameCube? Because I feel like a crazy person. I genuinely think the 64 library is better than the GameCube library. Maybe not better, but I like way more 64 games than GameCube games. Sony also got pirated up and down, so Sega should have locked in. Sega just needs to stop fucking around and they need to drop the Dreamcast 2 already. That'll save the video game industry, I think. You like Sunshine more than Mario 64? I'm on my own. Maple, you're a cool person. You're a chill person. And I fuck with you, but you're on thin ice for that one. You're twisted for saying that. No, it's okay. It's your opinion. It's your opinion, Maple. You didn't say Sunshine was better than Mario 64. There's a world of difference. People need to understand this. Like, I'm just doing a bit. I'm just fucking around. But there is a world of difference between saying this thing is bad and saying I don't like this thing. Two completely different statements. We gotta kill him now. Damn. Somehow your worst take even worse than Speeding Bullet being good. I love Kid Cudi. I love Man on the Moon. I love that album in particular. Speeding Bullet to Heaven is really, really bad. I see, with that take though, Maple, I appreciate it because it's music, and music is very personal to everyone and it's very subjective. And you have clearly extrapolated some sort of meaning or emotional resonance to that album, which I think is cool. Mario Sunshine, however, I will not forgive you for that take. Speaking of Yakuza/Mafia, imagine you join them and they kill you saying that. Imagine joining the Mafia and Tony Soprano's like, the Gabagool. And then he goes, how about that prick's face when he saw the gat? And then you die. Apparently, Donkey ranks Sunshine over Mario 64 too. I love Donkey. I love video game Donkey. That's an L right there. There's so much that I love about Mario Sunshine. I love the tropical beach vibes. Delfino Plaza is a great hub world. Do I have enough gold now? I do. There is so much that I love about Sunshine, but that game is just demented. I don't think I've played a platformer in a series that I love as much as Mario that makes me angrier than Super Mario Sunshine does. Mario Sunshine was your first video game? Mine was Donkey Kong 64, and I go to bat. I defend. Oh, I don't have enough for the magic armor. I defend the shit out of Donkey Kong 64, so I'm also, my opinion is to be taken with a grain of salt as well. It's an abusive relationship. The thing with 3D Mario games, for me, is that I don't replay most of them besides Mario 64. Like, as a kid, I loved Galaxy 1 and 2, especially 2. I loved Mario Galaxy 2. But it has been so long since I've played the Galaxy games. Like, I don't know if they're still good. Probably. Mario Odyssey is my second favorite 3D Mario game, but I haven't played it in 8 years. Where do I rank Galaxy on there anyway? In terms of 3D Mario games, and again, I haven't replayed most of them besides Mario 64. It would be 64 is at the top, and then Odyssey. And then this is based purely off of memory now. Galaxy 2, 3D Land, 3D World, Galaxy 1, Sunshine. "3D Land" I replayed a year or two ago, and I really like that game. Super Mario 3D Land it's a very quaint, simple game, but I beat it. I 100%ed it. I got all the star coins. I did the hidden post game. I did all of it, and I really, really enjoyed it. I would stream it in a heartbeat if I could. I don't have a 3DS capture card, and 3DS emulation does not run well on my computer. Strange? Yeah, I'll take the L on that. My 3D Mario ranking is subject to change whenever I get around to replaying the games proper. My 2D Mario ranking, I feel, is pretty pedestrian outside of ranking Super Mario Land for the Game Boy really high, because that's another game that I just really enjoy for some reason. My 2D Mario ranking game off the dome would be Mario 3, World, Land, 1, New Soup. The other New Soups don't matter. No, they don't. Just the first one. The other new Super Mario games don't matter. Mario Land 2, Super Mario Bros. 2, Yoshi's Island. And then Wonder would be somewhere in the middle, I want to say. Wonder was fun, and it was actually surprisingly really pretty, considering the new Soup games are very boring looking in terms of the visuals. But it also didn't blow me away. I enjoyed Wonder. I enjoyed playing it with my siblings, but it didn't blow my mind. But it was better than any of the new Soup games past the first one. What did Yoshi's Island do to you? I don't like it that much. It's pretty and the soundtrack is great. And I enjoy it more now than I did as a kid. As a kid, I hated that game. I was like, give me Yoshi's Story instead. And I still think Yoshi's Story is the better game. But Yoshi's Island is it's just too long, and I don't like the level design. Soundtrack is on point, because it's pretty much just a weird pop prog rock album. And the sprite work is nice, but it's way too long. It's like 8 hours. For a 2D platformer, that is absurd. I just don't like the level design that much. It's trying to be a collectathon, but if you try to play it like a collectathon and you try to get everything in 100% each level, you're going to want to take the business end of a hammer to your head. Nobody asked, but your 3D Mario ranking is 64, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, Sunshine, Odyssey, Land, never played 3D World or Bowser's Fury. 3D World is good. It's damn good. I want to say I like 3D Land more. I don't have a reason for that. It's just a feeling. I don't know. I feel like my 2D Mario ranking isn't that weird. Maybe some people would think that's weird, but Mario 3, in my opinion, is the best 2D Mario game. Hey Flamingo, welcome to the stream. You don't know the context, but you're going to want to take the business end of a hammer to your head. We're talking about Mario, ranking the Mario games. People don't like the way I say Mario, so I like saying it a lot because it makes people mad. You were playing Mario 3 in a parking lot and you think it's cool. I just streamed it a couple days ago. I streamed a ROM hack of it that gives you more Hammer Brothers suit. And it was awesome. It was badass. That's pretty badass. Count All-Stars as a game, then that's the best. All-Stars is good, but it also fucks up the physics. You gotta remember that. Now, Mario 2 and 3 are mostly fine. They just feel a little bit different compared to the NES game, but Super Mario Bros. 1, which is goated, by the way, that should go without saying, one of the greatest video games ever made. The physics are totally fucked up in All-Stars. It's still playable. It's not like it's some awful version of Mario 1, but it's not as good as the NES version. Mario 3 is cool, but Little Samson clears. Little Simpson. I'ma call you Homer, cause you're a simp, son. Alright, let's get out of here. Wait, what was I'm gonna fight the dragon. I don't want to do that yet. Sunshine? It's a game I don't like. I don't like Sunshine. Gives me heartburn. Little Samson is good. It's a neat NES game. It's one of the best looking on the system. I do think it's a bit overhyped just because it's rare and expensive, but it's fun. Don't buy it, don't pay for it, but emulate it. It's a fun little game. Gun to your head, how many Simpsons games could you play before you ask them to shoot? The Konami one, and then Simpsons Hit and Run, and then after that, I'm gonna say, yo, it's been a fun ride. You're gonna have to pull the trigger, dog. What was the game I dropped on the Mario Kart Amped Up stream? Pocky and Rocky. Yeah, for the Super Nintendo. It's like a top-down shoot 'em up. And it's awesome. Love Pocky and Rocky. Oh, I edited half of the video today. The ROM Hack Smash Pack video that I'm working on. So it is halfway done. I'll probably schedule it for upload like halfway through this month. I also unlisted the Ridge Racer video because I'm gonna remake it, and I think I'm gonna include a review of Ridge Racer Revolution, which was the sequel, and Rage Racer. Because I was rewatching that Ridge Racer review, and I just talk in circles the whole time. I don't know if, like, subconsciously I felt the need to pad it out and make it longer, but that review is like 14 minutes, and 6 minutes of it is just me talking in circles. So I'm gonna punch up the script and incorporate a review of the sequels. Not Type 4, but I think I'm gonna do Ridge Racer Revolution and then Rage Racer in that video. And I'm gonna redo it. Am I gonna mention Ridge Racer 64? Maybe! I've never played Ridge Racer 64. The concept of a Ridge Racer game on Nintendo 64, it makes me feel weird. Alright, I don't know if I'm strong enough to kill this dragon, but we're gonna try. As the kids say, let's fuck around and find out. I got this. I got this in the bag. This dude's done for. What's weird about Ridge Racer 64? Well, when I think of Ridge Racer, first and foremost, I think of PlayStation, but also I think of the crispy, aliased polygons of the PlayStation. You know, the jagged, aliased polygons. N64 is really blurry and muddy, and I love the look of the N64 as well. You guys know N64 is my favorite console. But something about Ridge Racer 64 just feels like an anomaly to me. Like, that game shouldn't exist. Makes me wonder if you think the same about Wipeout 64. They ported Wipeout to the 64? When did that happen? Hell yeah. Back in 98. You know, I didn't know Ridge Racer 64 existed until they brought it to the Switch Online. And I wouldn't have known about that if it weren't for the fact that YouTube recommended it to me when it happened. I was like, Ridge Racer 64? What do you mean Ridge Racer 64? What are you talking about? They made a Ridge Racer 64? Oh, at last, a valiant hero. My name is Gwaylin. I'm the princess of Tantegel. If you had not come for me someday, I would have become the Dragon Lord's bride. Oh, how I shudder at that thought. Roto, since you rescued me, would you please escort me back to my castle? I've never had the heart to say no. I wonder what happens. I wonder if you get a game over on the spot. Nintendo gaslighting you. Yeah, I was like, also, what was that one game? Iggy's Wrecking Balls for the 64? That game is a psyop. That game doesn't exist. People are gonna think I'm like a crazy conspiracy theorist person because of this stream. My ass had not seen Iggy's Wrecking Balls once on store shelves as a kid, and I'm pretty sure I've seen every single N64 game ever. Lord knows, I've seen so many copies of SmackDown vs. Raw for the PS2. Basically, I am the gamer. Not as crazy as SimCity 2000 on the 64. That's not real. I'm looking this up right now. I knew about SimCity for the DD. There's no port of SimCity 2000 for the 64. Are you crazy? How did they port that shit to the 64? This must be awful. Imagine playing SimCity 2000 with a 64 controller. The 64 DD version works because it was made from the ground up for the 64 in mind, but 64 SimCity 2000? Bro. I'm learning about so many games tonight. No, I knew about StarCraft for the 64, which is also a weird port. They ported it to the Saturn and it sucked ass. You know what else they ported to the Saturn? And it sucked, but it's so impressive that you can't help but you want to give it like a pat on the back. The port of Quake for the Sega Saturn. Probably the worst way to play Quake. But damn it, they did it. They did it. They ported it. Quake 64 was actually pretty decent. I did a Let's Play of it back in like February of this year. And by a Let's Play, I mean a one-off. But I think I played the first episode in its entirety. And it is a surprisingly competent version of Quake. Most impressive ports by a console. Go. Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the game.com. Gamecom, whatever it was called. Double Dragon for Atari 2600. Also, Miss Pac-Man for Atari 2600 is a great port. We all know that the original we all know the original Pac-Man is an awful port on 2600, but Ms. Pac-Man is pretty good. Symphony of the Night, it was canceled, I'm pretty sure, but I mean, they did it. They put that shit on the game comms, so we got Gwaylyn's Love. I love you, Roto. This is my love. Please accept it. Even if we're separated, my heart will always be with you. That's very sweet. Now then, Roto, I will continue to support you. Thanks, Gwaylyn. That's very sweet. You would think that the game ends here. Good stutter, Wyatt. Good one. You would think that the game ends here, but no, we still gotta kill the Dragon Lord. Is it even the same game? Is it the Samegame? Well, that's a good question. You would have to ask yourself, at what point does it stop becoming the same game? Okay, another really impressive port, Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox, blows my damn mind. Okay, so now we gotta get the Token of Erdrick. And that is down in the swamp. How did they put Metal Gear Solid 5 on PS3? Yeah, that was pretty crazy. It ran like shit though, didn't it? OG Xbox was a beast. I mean, it was, but still, Half-Life 2? For 2004, 2005, whenever Half-Life 2 came out, that was the new benchmark for gaming on PC. And they got that shit on Xbox. 20 or so FPS. Hey, look, Ocarina of Time's one of my favorite video games. I can handle that frame rate. That's doable. That is doable. Metal Gear Solid for your Warrior laptop. But the question is, can it run Crysis? That's a classic meme right there. Half-Life 2 on Xbox ran at 10 FPS. Yeah, it was not the best version of Half-Life 2, but I think all impressive ports, to some way or another, they run terribly, but you just can't help but be like, damn, that's crazy. You played it. You were in the trenches. I think there's a certain beauty to amazing video game ports and just absolute garbage video game ports, you know? They're two sides of the same coin. Doom Eternal on Switch is genuinely impossible. How did they do it? Some of those Switch ports, they pulled some abracadabra black magic or something. Not necessarily, I mean, not really a port, but just a remake. Conquer Live and Reloaded, even though I think the art direction itself, which is different from the graphics, the art direction and the design, I think is a big step down from the N64 Bad Fur Day. Conquer Live and Reloaded looks crazy for an original Xbox game. Just from a hardware, technical perspective, Conquer Live and Reloaded looks insane for original Xbox. Again, I think the art direction is worse. I think the game is paradoxically kind of ugly. And it has a way edgier look to it, but still, like... DKC Game Boy Color count as a super impressive port? No. Then they 0% asked Kingdom Hearts in there. A Cloud game? Yeah, of course, it's got Cloud Strife in it. Yeah, that doesn't even count when it's like a cloud game where it's running off a server somewhere. Like, you didn't port shit. That doesn't count. Where's the swamp? It's like down here. Oh, there's a wyvern. These guys are tough. They look goofy. Trust me, okay, well, maybe I'm just too powerful now. Maybe I'm too much of a badass. We're getting around the area where you can run into metal slimes. Cloud game is a cop-out. Port it like a man. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if that game has 1 pixel. Make it run. Speaking of pixels, somebody ported Cave Story to a TI-82 calculator. Now that's not official, that's a homebrew, but that's pretty impressive. I still can't believe there are people out here that believe the Doom pregnancy tester port was real. That wasn't real. Nobody ported Doom to a pregnancy test. That is like the fakest video ever. And people still think it's real. People are still like, oh, Doom ported to a pregnancy tester. It's so fake. It's not real. The Genesis port is cool. Yeah, I want to stream the Genesis port of Cave Story. I love the FM soundtrack too. Pregnancy Tester doesn't even have an operating system. It's literally a little LCD screen. But people still think that port is real. People are like, oh, Doom was on a pregnancy tester. Is the Genesis port complete? Yeah, it's been a finished version of Cave Story for a long time. It's really cool. This is the area where we can hunt metal slimes, by the way, which I might do, because that'll expedite the level grinding process. Hey Corey, welcome to the stream. More Hideline. Yeah, this is it sure is. Imagine you had to play the entirety of Doom to get your pregnancy results. The ultimate contraceptive, because these motherfuckers nowadays can't even get past the first level of Doom, let alone the whole game. Come on. Okay, I could maybe go get Erdrick's armor. I might die. I might die in the process, but I could maybe go get the armor. Ooh, metal slime, let's go. Daddy needs a new pair of level up. Shit, one more hit and he would have been dead. I don't know if I'll do much metal slime hunting on stream or off stream. But this will expedite the level grinding process. This is Tower of Daraga. Tower of Daraga is maybe low-key one of the most important games in history. And nobody even knows it exists. Without Tower of Daraga, you ain't got Zelda. Also, Yuzo Koshido said that Tower of Daraga was a moment in his life where he was like, oh, I gotta step up my game because this soundtrack is crazy. And Yuzo Koshido is the goddamn man. I don't know if I have enough MP to fight this upcoming boss, because I need to heal a lot, and I'm running low on MP. How much money do I have? It doesn't really matter. I don't really even need money at this point in the game, because if I can get Erdrick's armor, everything will be chill. I don't know if I can beat this boss though. Played it and was like, wow, that sure was important. My ass can't even beat a Star Wyvern. That's not even the boss. All right. I'm gonna heal up. We're gonna heal up and then we're gonna try that again because I want to get Erdrick's armor. Once I get the armor, I'm pretty much unstoppable until the final boss. That's not true. The enemies in the Dragon Lord's castle are really tough, but I'll be good up until then. Can you port a pregnancy test in Doom? I would have to, you know, run the logistics on that. I'm not an expert in pregnancy tester hardware or software. Okay. I think we can do this. I'm close to a level up too, I'm pretty sure. So. I get the armor, I get the token. We can go to the Dragon Lord's lair, which I'm not going to do in this stream because I'm going to try to get to at least level 20 before we do the final dungeon. And if I get lucky with the metal slimes, it won't take me that long because metal slimes give you a ton of EXP. Game design is funny because the punch sucks in Doom, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're playing Doom and you're at the point where you actually have to use your punch because you've run out of ammo and there's no more ammo drops, you're in dire straits, buddy. You are up shit's creek without a paddle because that punch is pitiful. You would think with how yoked Doom Guy is that, you know, it would actually be a pretty decent melee. No, yeah, you're cooked. You know what the most satisfying melee attack in an FPS was? The melee from Halo. There was nothing more satisfying growing up, playing Halo, and just running up to a grunt and meleeing it. Or an elite. You run up to an elite, you disarm his shield or whatever, and then you melee him. Dude, pistol whipping somebody in Halo with the Magnum is the most satisfying experience in gaming history. I don't even remember what's in this cave. I don't think you have to even go down here, but we're down here now, we may as well. Actually, I'm gonna look up what this cave even is, because I'm 99.99% positive that it's optional. I don't think you have to do this cave. Rocky Cave or Marshy Cave? This appears to be the Rocky Cave. Oh, the Fighter's Ring is down here, but the Fighter's Ring is broken, right? Like, it literally doesn't work. Fighter's Ring, Dragon Quest 1. An item that supposedly can be equipped to raise attack. The Warrior's Ring can be found at the bottom of the Rocky Cave in Dragon Quest. The ring was misprogrammed in early versions of the game, thus it will do nothing to the hero's stats and provide no benefit, thus seemingly still being useless. Yeah, okay, so we don't actually need to be down here because the Fighter's Ring doesn't do anything because it was misprogrammed. I don't know if the damage scaled, but it felt like it did more. It was the disrespect of specifically pistol whipping somebody. The disrespect multiplier. Is there a genre I used to like as a kid that I don't care for today? Because every time someone brings up Halo, you remember that you're not into FPSs. And you're like, wait, I liked them so much as a kid. I don't like JRPGs as much as when I was a teenager. Obviously, I still like them because I'm sitting here playing Dragon Quest 1 for y'all. I still like them, but I was way more into them. Okay, let me put it this way. When I was younger, I played Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't see myself ever playing a game as big as Xenoblade Chronicles now in my life than when I played it when I was like 15. To put that into some type of way. I don't know if there's a genre that I like totally write off. You couldn't pay me to play a strategy game, but you liked Fire Emblem when you were a youngin'? I still like well, not the new Fire Emblem games, but we talking Path of Radiance, we talking Sacred Stones, we talking Thracia 776. Like, yeah, I'll play those. I'm not gonna play a real-time strategy game, though. We talking Shining Force, baby? You like them, you rarely ever beat them. You're probably not alone on that. I have 3 houses. You got it at a pawn shop. Think it has dust. Yeah, everything post-Awakening, I'm pretty indifferent to when it comes to newer Fire Emblem. You beat Fire Emblem Awakening, though? Awakening, I feel, was the last truly good Fire Emblem series. Also, this knight is straight up what Oolong transforms into in Dragon Ball. When Goku first meets Oolong and he's trying to, like, threaten him, intimidate him, he turns into literally this enemy right here. Heard Echoes is good. Yeah, Shadows of Valentia is good. I can't believe you got 3 houses at a pawn shop. The housing market has been rough recently. That's a +2. That's a +2 right there. That's good, Kubo. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, Maple. Toriyama said, work smarter, not harder. You can tell how much he loved working on Dragon Quest, though, because the monster design is throughout all of these games is so creative and so imaginative and fun. His monster design is so good, and you can tell with Dragon Ball he loved it at first, but he wanted to. There were so many times where Toriyama wanted to end that shit. Man, there are jokester motherfuckers like Plague of Gripes that write hour-long videos dissecting Dragon Ball and its writing problems, and it's like, Toriyama was a terrible writer and this and that. Bro, he tried to end Dragon Ball like 8 times. You would also half-ass the writing too if you were so exhausted of working on your own series. Like, oh, the writing in the Buu Saga is awful. Yeah, the dude didn't want to make it. He tried ending Dragon Ball so many times. Of course the writing isn't good. I always thought that was so silly whenever people write their like 3-hour-long video essays on DBZ. Never trust a pawn shop in Detroit. I feel like a pawn shop in Detroit would sell you a Little Caesars hot and ready, but one slice has been taken out of it. It hasn't been tampered with any other way. Just one slice is missing. You can criticize how something is written without viewing it as a moral failing on the part of the author. I don't know what you mean by moral fail. Like, I'm not saying Toriyama is immune to criticism, because he's not. I just think it's silly whenever people get super analytical about the faults of Dragon Ball's writing, which there are many of, and that's, again, he's not immune to criticism. But I think, yeah, any creator who works on something for a long-ass time, and at several points throughout the history of working on that, they have tried to end it and they are tired of making it, of course the writing isn't going to be good. It's also a Shonen Jump series, which, aside from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Yu Yu Hakusho, are usually not well written. What was the last Toriyama Dragon Quest? I guess technically 11, unless he worked on 12, which isn't Right. Out yet. See ya, Maple. Thanks for tuning in. You have a good night. This guy's an asshole. Gotta keep healing. Have I ever watched Detroit Metal City? I think you did ask that at one point, and my answer is still the same. Maybe he got to work on a little bit of 12 before he passed. Yeah, it's been in development since I was in high school. I think they announced Dragon Quest 12 was in development in like 2016 or something. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did some monster designs for it. I do wonder with future Dragon Quest games, are they going to get a new artist to helm the series now, or are they just going to try to facsimile Toriyama's art style? Sometimes it's fun to analyze something. No, I agree with that. I don't like Plague of Gripes because his videos are weirdly, like, really personable and weirdly hostile, like he's, like, buddies with Toriyama. Or was. I don't know, his videos give me weird vibes, I don't like them. Dragon Quest MMO when? That could very well be the worst stream I would ever do. I think it would be fun. I think if I were to stream Dragon Quest X, it would be fun. But it would also probably be a disaster. There's a Dragon Quest MMO. Yeah, Dragon Quest X, and it was only released in Japan. Never got localized. They're probably gonna have someone imitate his style. It's too iconic to replace. Yeah, I think so too. The key art for like Dragon Quest 3 2D, HD 2D though, I guess you don't really see Erdrick or the other characters' faces, but it does look different. Not even gonna give me the chance to kill that dude. It's a funny anime. The last anime I saw, well, I guess the last anime I saw was Stone Ocean, but Odd Taxi, which I will keep shouting out Odd Taxi because it's so good. Odd Taxi is incredible and you all should watch it. What is this guy's problem? Alright. I got a Hail Mary! Thank you. This metal slime hunting is going very poorly. I think we'll stream for another 15 minutes, and then I will either cut the stream here, or we will switch over to something else. I don't know if I want to play something else tonight or just call it here. But we made good progress. We killed the green dragon. We just gotta get Erdrick's armor and his sword and his emblem, and then we can go fight the Dragon Lord. But I want to get a couple levels. I at least want to kill one metal slime on stream, because that would be cool. It's about a meek and shy dude that wants to be a pop idol, but to pay the bills, ends up becoming a legendary thrash/black metal frontman. Is it newer, or is it like an anime from the 2000s or 90s? Is every Dragon Quest connected? So the original 3 games are called the Zenithian Trilogy, and they are connected. They take place like hundreds of years apart from each other. And then Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 are called, 4, 5, and 6 are the Zenithian Trilogy. 1, 2, and 3 are the Erdrick Trilogy. And 4, 5, and 6 are connected loosely. And then from 7 onwards, there's, aside from the monsters reappearing from one game to another, there's no real connection. Like, to my understanding, going from 7 to 8, there is no connection between the two. But the first 3 games are very, very much connected, yes. Remember hearing 11 had something? 11 has a ton of references to previous Dragon Quest games, but I don't remember if the plot was connected to another game. But there's like so many references, and like I think Torneko is just straight up in that game for some reason. I could be misremembering. I played 11 when it came out and it was really good, but I haven't played it in a long time. I don't want to fight you, dude. I need to get heal more ASAP. Yeah, I'm dead. Oh no. Yeah, maybe I'll do some off-stream metal slime hunting. I still want to kill one on stream, but we're gonna save. And in the next stream, we can probably beat this game, honestly. Yeah, we're close to level 15. You know what? Okay, let's get to level 15. Let's get to level 15, and then we will end the stream. Wiki says he's in 9, but not 11. Maybe I'm thinking of Dragon Quest 8. Was he in... I want to say he was in Dragon Quest 8. Let me look this up. Dragon Quest 8 Torneko. Yeah, he was in 8, not 11. This image is kind of haunting. There's something spooky about this. He's just standing there, menacingly. Torneko might be the best character in all of Dragon Quest. This is legitimately like top 10 video game character designs. I love this dude. He rules. Oh, he's just this big jolly dude that goes spelunking and treasure hunting, and he fights monsters. I love Torneko. He got his own spin-off series. He got his own Mystery Dungeon spin-off series, and for good reason. Torneko became real. Torneko will become real in 3 seconds. All right, we'll get to level 15 and then we'll save and quit. How much gold do I have? 1,200. I don't even care. Again, we don't really need money that much at this point in the game. There's something spooky about that image of Torneko from Dragon Quest VIII, that screenshot. But yeah, this has been very fun. I know this gameplay footage is not the most thrilling thing in the world, but I'm glad people have been coming out to the past 2 Dragon Quest streams, because I love this game. Beating this game is a personal tradition of mine every year. Yeah, let's get up one more level. We're almost there. Gold, man! Give me the gold! Give me the loot! there we go. Level 15. Do we get heal more? Repel. So now we won't run into as many monsters. Oh, heal more is the final spell, huh? You definitely want heal more before you go into the Dragon Lord's castle. Yeah, I'm still gonna kill a metal slime on stream, but I think next time we stream this, we'll be able to beat it. I just gotta gather Erdrick's armor and the token, which will take like 2 seconds, and then Erdrick's sword, which you get in the final dungeon anyway. That's handy. Yep. I wish you got it earlier in the game instead of all the way at the end. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll finish up Dragon Quest. And Doodle showed me a cool looking Metroid ROM hack, which we might check out as well. Thanks for coming out to the stream, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your week ahead of you. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.